guys, welcome back to another episode of Federico Talks Watches. Today, I'm once again answering some of your questions, such as, should you service a Seiko? What do I think of Glasute's 39mm CQ? And a lot more. Now, of course, before we get started, customary wristwatch check. Today I'm wearing my Breguet Marine Big Date, previous generation, probably one of my favorite watches in my collection. I've been wearing this a lot. And also, guys, don't forget to check out delraywatch.com. We got a bunch of new inventory in stock, including a very rarely seen Omega Sedna Gold Seamaster. Boy, is this thing handsome. A Tudor Black Bay 41 with the new white dial, and a bronze IWC Spitfire with the green dial. All that and way more at delraywatch.com, the best place for a watch geek to buy a watch. Link in the description below. Anyway, guys, these are the questions you've asked. I'm sure you know how it works by now. You can go to my Instagram account at Federico Talks Watches. A few times a month, the Q&A picture pops up. When it does, feel free to ask a question. When I get enough questions, I take the picture down. And please do not DM me. I do not check them. And we will begin in no particular order with Captain Tob. Captain Tob says, out of curiosity, what's your biggest regret as a watch collector? Well, Captain Tob, I don't really believe in regret. Woulda, coulda, shoulda. Hindsight's 2020. There's probably a couple of watches I shouldn't have sold. I miss them now. But probably if I had to pick a regret, it's not buying the FP Journe Zodiac calendar when I could. I was offered it in the low 20,000 range, but at the time that seemed like a ton of money. It still is a ton of money, but I might be able to swing it now with some savings. But before, it seemed entirely out of reach 4 or 5 years ago. And yeah, I'm never going to be able to buy that watch for that price again. It's probably doubled, and you know what? I just don't feel like spending 40 G's on a watch. But yeah, woulda, coulda, shoulda. Don't really believe in regrets, but I'd love to have that Zodiac calendar on my wrist. Dan Wick 11 said, "Hey Fed, good work. Thank you. What are your thoughts on the Glasute CQ 39.5? So I love the 39mm CQ. It wears perfectly with that skin diver case with the shorter lugs. The bracelet is a work of art. It's the less expensive CQ without the big date, so the price point is fantastic. Even though their big date is iconic, and it's the more popular CQ, I think for the money, you get the simpler movement, but you still get the fantastic fit, finish, and bracelet and look of the CQ. What do I think? I give it 2 thumbs up. I'm a big CQ fan." Tom Huizinga, "Fed, hope you are well. Thank you. Is there a price above a certain amount that you would recommend traveling to pick up rather than having it shipped?" Well, Tom, not really. Nowadays, anything can be shipped. Even $1 million can be shipped with armored carrier. We ship watches all over the world and at all times. I'd say above 100K, shipping becomes a little bit more difficult. And if you're going to spend that much money anyway, and you just got to pick it up maybe a 2 or 3 hour flight, go for it. Enjoy the day. If you got to pick up a watch in New York and you're in Miami, go to New York, have lunch, spend the 100K in person, make an experience out of it, and then come home. But it's not strictly necessary. Most watch dealers have great shipping protocols. They have insurance. Ask all this beforehand. So yeah, there's no amount that I would absolutely go and do it. It's more of an excuse of, should I make a fun experience out of it? But, monetary value wouldn't necessarily have anything to do with it, in my opinion. Carter Jenkins 1970, would you recommend servicing a Seiko? Great question, and the answer is only if it's sentimental. Most times, the servicing of a Seiko costs more than the watch is worth. However, I understand it's not always about value. If it's sentimental to you, it's something you've had a long time, maybe an heirloom, then yeah, service it. You might spend $300 and the watch is only worth $200. That's okay in that situation, but a lot of times, if it's just your daily beater and you don't have a sentimental attachment to it, then it's really not worth to service a lot of Seikos, simply because you can replace them for not a ton of money compared to what servicing costs are. But I understand if there's a sentimental attachment. Oi Vinler. Hey Fed, what are your thoughts on Eterna? I've been thinking of getting a Kontiki beater for a while. I love Eterna. I used to own one. It's one of those brands that's always on the precipice of going extinct. Now they even have in-house movements. You can always find them heavily discounted from the retail. And, it's probably just bad business decisions on their end, but they make nice watches. The Eterna Kontiki World Timer is one I owned and one I have for sale now at Delray Watch. I absolutely love it. A few of them have become quite collectible and are getting expensive, but for the most part, you can pick up most Eternas for a fraction of their retail price, and they do offer pretty darn good value for an entry-level Swiss watch. So what do I think of Eterna? I love them. Anyway, guys, that's it for today. Please give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Really does help. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any more content. And of course, I'll catch you in the next one. Take care.